I'm Zach Seeloff along with James Brown, and our team is ready to bring you this high-flying action. It's Divine Savior Holy Angels High School versus Meridian, and James, we're in for a treat here, the single school championship taking place.
Yeah, we're really lucky to be here today. Both of these teams have played really hard in the quarterfinals, and we're here for the first semi-final of the day.
Kickoff coming from Divine Savior. They're in the red and white, moving right to left as we look at them. In the blue and gold is Meridian. They'll have possession to start things off as we get underway here at the beautiful Wisconsin Rugby Complex in Cottage Grove. The girls from Meridian carry things across the 22-meter line to get us started. Swing it back out into the middle of the field. Nothing doing there. Stiff defense from DSHA, as they're known, the Divine Savior Holy Angels High School. But Meridian trying to move forward, gaining ground little by little. Lule Teme, number 3, carrying that ball as they swing it out towards the left wing. A little handoff, try an inside move. Meridian tight on the defense, though. DSHA tight on the defense, not letting Meridian gain much ground at all.
Yeah, you can see some really good line speed from some of the inside players from the Dashers. You'll watch some of the players closer to the ruck rushing up, trying to close down that space.
Long pass goes a little bit wide for the Meridians, all the way back to their 22-meter line. Taken down right there, and they'll try and reset. Back towards the middle of the field. Nice little stiff arm to gain a bit of ground. And the blue and gold players from Meridian continue the attack. No score early in this game. We're playing 22.5-minute halves here in the single school semifinals. 20:54 on the clock as we remain scoreless. And that call goes against Meridian.
Yeah, so that's a penalty for crossing there, right? Which means they're in an offside position and blocking any potential defenders.
DSHA the beneficiaries as they work on the attack now, carrying the ball forward to the 22-meter line of Meridian.
Sort of an interesting choice to go for a tap and go, to run that play instead of kicking it out from Dashers. They obviously back themselves on attack.
Divine Savior now across that 22-meter line. Carrying that ball was number 11, Evie Kofu. On the left wing, Kofu again trying to get it, drops it back.
So there was advantage being played there. It looks like it was for offside that happened earlier. So obviously the Meridian defense was offside at the... Oh, it's for not rolling away, the ref has indicated there.
Roll away call, again another tap and go from Divine Savior. Little fake toss, trying to find some open space.
It's that same call that's happened again. You'll notice that the Dashers player was in front of the player with the ball, so it's undefendable. It is crossing.
Not unlike hockey, if you pause at the blue line, it's easy to end up offsides. Here, ball carrier pauses. Teammate ends up ahead, and now breaking into the clear is Meridian there across the 10-meter line toward midfield and continuing forward. Carrying that ball for Meridian High School is Lele Time, the senior, with a nice run to get Meridian back in charge on offense.
Yeah, she's had a couple nice runs this tournament. In fact, she's a really hard-working ball carrier.
And speaking of nice runs, another great one from Meridian, as they have completely transitioned this game, playing now in the DSHA half.
There we go. There's Time with the ball once more.
Driving forward. Stopped up. But Meridian continuing, nearly lose control of that ball. DSHA called for it, and a quick tap and go, and now they're charging ahead once more. Blue and gold on the offense. And they'll bring it continuing through the middle of the field. Driving ahead, that's number 1, Kennedy Jones. She gains a little bit of ground for her team. And now we'll try and play on the wing. Lost ball, and I think that's going to be a knock-on.
Yeah, that's actually an offside because the player who was in front of the person who knocked the ball on played the ball, so that's an offside position there. So little technical thing that happens sometimes in rugby.
Offside call there. A attempted kick ends up all the way across the field into touch at the 22-meter line.
So that's the Dashers just opting to maybe slow it down a little bit in this heat. You can see some players getting water, and they're going to start with a line out.
I was with Shannon Bustillos 2 games ago, and she told me that 95% of scoring in rugby can be traced back to a line-out. This is a real opportunity for both teams to try and exploit here, our first line-out of the game. 17:45 to go, still scoreless here in the first half of this semifinal. Dashes with a nice play to gain control. Got a little bit of open space and deliver a big booming kick, and that takes a very friendly bounce for the ladies from Divine Savior. Tracking it all the way back from Meridian was number 15, Becca Jenks. And now Jenks was able to find a little bit of open space, takes it back near midfield.
It's a little bit slower ball that's happening there for Meridian. Dash is able to slow that ball down, even though Meridian probably had an overlap on the left side there.
Meridian now pushing it to the far edge. On the wing, past one tackle, not past a second. Very windy today. If you're not here with us at the stadium, the wind blowing from our right to left, blowing against Meridian at present. But the ladies in the blue and gold doing well on offense, trying to push toward midfield. Solid defense from DSHA, not letting them gain quite as much space as they'd like. Battle continues in between the 10-meter lines here. DSHA to the Meridian to the near wing. Nice job to break out of that tackle and cut into the middle. A very solid move from Meridian. And finally taken to the ground is Kenzie Thornton. Meridian trying to move forward here. Kenzie Thornton, captain, softball catcher, and a wrestler, in addition to playing rugby. Talented athlete all the way around.
Someone can do it all, right?
You love to have that versatility on your squad. As Meridian continues forward, big hit delivered, initiating contact is Lule Time.
That's her fifth carry I think we've seen there.
We've mentioned her number a lot. She's obviously got some talent. Meridian thought they had a little bit of a sneak through there. The referee not comfortable with how that was played, and we'll try it again.
Yeah, so that penalty came for not rolling away at the ruck. So after your tackle, you've got to leave space so that the ball can be cleared.
Nice job to catch a high pass and keep things moving for Meridian. Taking a hard hit was Mallory Howell. And here's Teammate once again. They like to get the ball in her hands.
She's got such a powerful leg drive through contact there, so she's making many post-contact meters.
Kennedy Jones ahead for Meridian. Continuing forward, the sophomore. Nice way to find open space on the outside. Perry Wilson. Met by a couple of Dasher players and driven back. And DSHA grabs the ball, the loose ball. That looked like a forward pass. As DSHA picks it up, I believe that will be the call. They attempt to convert the turnover and turn it right back over themselves. Meridian will have it here near the 22-meter line.
Yeah, so this is a great attacking opportunity for the Meridian team. We're kind of over to the one side, so we'll see the back line stretch out across the whole field. And this is sort of where you see something straight off the training ground come out. If Meridian manage to get clean ball, we might see what their back line can do.
We got a lot of good info from the teams, and as the scrum gets going, head coach Jared Turner, unnatural obsession with Jimmy Buffett, wears cargo shorts year-round and recently purchased his first pair of Crocs. We'll see if those become his lucky Crocs for his team here. As Meridian plays it to the outside, they've got a little bit of room. Nice little over-the-head swing. Try to tap it along. I think they tapped it back to themselves before making the throw. A talented play with the mid-air ball, and Meridian in business here, nearing the 5-meter line.
Yeah, that's an opportunity there, an opportunity for a double switch. You kind of feel if Kenzie Thornton had got that ball, she would have been away in space.
Nice little handoff. That time goes to Kiona Hunter. She's taken to the ground by the girls of Divine Savior. Now driving forward once again is Jones. Trying to get to the outside. Big tackle delivered by DSHA. And DSHA comes up with the ball off of that, but it's right back to Meridian. Quick changes of possession in rugby, and it's happening very close to the goal line here of DSHA.
Look at this attempted counter ruck there. They're really attacking the rucks.
Big shoves, big pushes, down to the 5-meter line are Meridian. Ahead, getting closer is Aubrey Vogt. Now a feed to Time. Inside the 5-meter line, trying to push, continuing to drive, refusing to go to the ground. DSHA has her bottled up, though. Now we get a whistle.
Looks like there's been a penalty there from a side entry to the ruck. So at the ruck, you have to enter through what we like to call the gate, basically through the back of the ruck. And one of the Meridian players came in from the side.
So credit to DSHA. They hold on defense near their own goal line and now deliver a free kick off the penalty. That one's going to go, will it make it into touch? It does. So we'll play the line out from the far side of the field.
That's two powerful kicks that we've seen from DSHA to be able to clear from inside their 22. A lot of these teams, what separates them, I'm feeling in this tournament, is that the capacity to kick it out and have a great kicker like that.
I do think, you know, it's such an important component of the game, especially if you're not accustomed to rugby, that you might not realize kicking a huge value. And at this level, having a number of talented kickers on your lineup can absolutely make the difference. DSHA to throw this one in. Meridian gets the initial tap, and they have possession.
Wow, they're fighting through contact there, Meridian, not refusing to go down at the first tackler.
The blue and gold just tough to bring down. DSHA, though, trying to deliver some form tackles. There's a couple of escape tackles by Mallory Howell, and she continues on her feet inside the 22-meter line. And Meridian retains possession. Big overload from DSHA on this side. There is nowhere to go for the ladies in the blue and gold. They're going to be taken all the way back towards the 22-meter.
Yeah, Mallory Howells carries there. She says she's got 4 brothers. She's used to fighting.
Yeah, she knows how to deal with some roughhousing, that's for sure. Meridian right up the gut, driving ahead that time was Aubrey Vogt.
It's a good running line. You know, they're really keeping DSHA narrow, and look how they're creating such a narrow defense. You sort of feel like if they could use this next phase to actually use their width, they might be in for a score.
That is certainly what they're trying. Boy, they've got some open looks and running around the corner. Nice job to spin down that time. It was number 14, Maria Hilbert of DSHA, that made what looked like a try-saving tackle. Oh, big stick. Big stick right there. Those are the hits you love to deliver and hate to receive. Teammate, nice reception on a pass, but I think it was a bit forward. It looked like it was traveling ahead, and I think we're going to take a scrum there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how DSHA choose to clear this. You know, they definitely have the boot to be able to just kick it out. Obviously, if you are within your own 22, you can kick it out directly without the ball bouncing. So that's probably what they'll choose to do here. It'll be interesting to see if they run it.
DSHA again, Divine Savior, Holy Angels, they are in the red and the white, moving right to left as you look at them. Meridian in the blue and the gold. DSHA does come up with the ball, and they are going to deliver a boot. A nice kick, and the wind benefiting them and the bounce benefiting them. Look at this ball all the way into the 22 of Meridian. Tracking it back there for Meridian was number 15, Becca Jenks, still on her feet as she cuts toward the middle of the field.
Yeah, she's done really well to come back to support there. You know, they're playing her as the only player back in the field, and both times she's been on the receiving end of a kick, she's come back to support. It's good play.
Very good return from Jenks, and now we have a whistle, and that'll favor Meridian.
There we go, hands in the ruck is the call there. Once the ball is down in the ruck, you can push over the top of it, but you can't use your hands to sweep it back.
Jenks, as she retreats back, kind of favoring her right side. Looked like maybe a rib shot or her upper abdomen. We'll keep an eye on her. Hopefully she's okay after some big contact. Speaking of big contact happening here in this ruck, and we get another whistle for a knock-on. And we're going to have a scrum here inside of the 10-meter line.
So immediately we see DSHA. Look how they've stacked up their back line here. Their number 10 is playing right back in the pocket behind the scrum. You know, she's got an option to attack both right and left here.
Out of the scrum, it does work its way to DSHA, and they're going to roll immediately to that far wing. The number 8 with a nice carry, great tackle by Meridian. That was Melanie Sanchez of DSHA on the carry. She's their number 8 with a nice run up the outside. Still scoreless here with 8:14 to play in this first half. Neither team able to get in. Meridian came close. And now on the turnover, Meridian has the ball back once more.
Oh, a little bit of confusion there.
Yep. 2 players vying for that ball from Meridian. Neither one gets it, but I believe it's going to be a knock-on here, and I think we'll scrum it out in the same spot.
So we've had good few attacking opportunities and a few set pieces here. As a former forward myself, it's sort of tough when you're playing like this. It sort of seems every time you look up, you've got to scrum back down.
Just can't get anything consistent going. Meridian had the one decent scoring opportunity we've seen so far in this game, but they were stopped at the 5-meter line of DSHA. Meridian to the outside, got some speed, a nice shoulder put in, but what a job to roll away from that hit by Kenzie Thornton. Ball to the ground, and Meridian will continue up the middle. Kenzie Thornton took a huge shoulder from Sonia Perkovic of DSHA and just was able to shrug it off entirely. Meridian to midfield. Sorry, go ahead, James.
No, she's a really good ball carrier. We've mentioned her a few times, and she seems never to go down on the first tackle.
Loose ball picked up cleanly by Meridian off the hop. And there is Perkovic once again. This time the shoulder goes in square and knocks down Meridian.
Yeah, Perkovic's putting some good tackles, and it sort of makes me question the fact that she's on the wing. She's sort of playing like a flanker.
Delivering some abuse to the girls in blue and gold. But right now they retain possession at the 10-meter line. Kick it all the way to that left wing.
Oh, good footwork right there.
Nice little stutter step, as you say. And Meridian now with a chance to get on the run. Powering forward across midfield. 6:15 to play in this scoreless first half. 22 and a half minutes per half. Team A just... You are going to need more than one person to bring her down, almost no matter who it is.
Yeah, she needs a tackle out both high and low.
Nice feed to the left wing. She's got some space. She's past Perkovic, and here they go. Carrying for Meridian is Wilson. She'll finally be dragged into touch.
That's really wily defense from DSHA there. They obviously gave her space on the outside, but they pinned their ears back and headed for their own corner flag and managed to push her out.
The previous game I did was Belmont Shore versus Majestic, and there it was very much speed versus size. Here, a little more evenly matched in a physical sense. They have kind of equivalent speed and size. And
well, tell that to someone tackling teammates.
That's a fair point, with rare exception. But it's going to be interesting to see, given that it's not so obvious who has the physical advantage, how these teams separate themselves and are able to score points.
There we go. So once a jumper is in the air, you cannot touch them for safety reasons. So the player's been played in the air, and that'll be a penalty to DSHA.
Ryan Xavier to deliver this kick. End-over-end kick that goes into touch near the 10-meter line of Meridian. And we'll have a line out there with 4:55 to play in this first half.
So that's Flann O'Keefe who's taking those kicks, and she really does have a good clearance boot on her.
I'm interested to see, too, how much the wind affects it. It's died down a little bit, but it's at DSHA's back currently, and they've been delivering these big, strong kicks. Have to see in the second half if that changes at all. Line out coming, both teams up. DSHA's got it cleanly. A nice job to pick that up, and we move into the maul.
Now that's a great start of the maul. They're looking a little bit loose, though, and Meridian have stopped it.
DSHA loses the ball on the tackle, but we get a whistle.
So that's an offside. You've got to stay 10 meters back until the line out is over, and the line out was not over yet, so that's an offside. And we'll see another kick to the corner here from Flann O'Keefe.
And she boots it, but good. Onto the roof of the shed over there. That is our production shed all the way in the corner. Hi, everybody in the booth downstairs today.
There we go. We talked about those scoring from line-out stats now, and this is an opportunity. Again, we'll have a great chance to see how DSHA have planned an attack. You'll see a couple forwards stacked in their back line. I wouldn't be surprised if the first phase goes forwards before we get a second attacking phase from the backs.
Definitely a fair number of players to the outside for Meridian, looking to close off that far wing. DSHA playing a little bit closer to this near side.
Oh, here it is.
There we go. Had to get the ball back from where it ended up after banging off the roof of the shed.
Yeah, thank you, production crew.
Indeed. So we'll get ready to deliver the ball in now. DSHA for the line out. Both teams up. DSHA's got it clean once again. Nice drop, and they're on the move. A lot of open space here as they feed to the middle. Loose ball. Able to hang on, but taken down right near that 22-meter line. DSHA now to the outside. lost ball and avoiding the knock-on. They have to give it up, and Meridian takes possession. 2:41 to play, still scoreless in this first half. Very evenly matched teams here, not able to find a way past.
It's pretty easy for Meridian to pick up that ball as well. It's one of those classic coaching moments where you're looking at your players and you're saying, you know, just because you've knocked it on doesn't mean the game is over. And we've come back for the scrum anyway, but that's a dangerous opportunity. You spoke about that game earlier, that the Majestics versus Belmont game, and there were so many try-scoring opportunities that happened off a knock-on that people just stopped playing.
Yep, Belmont exploiting their speed advantage, and you're absolutely right. Majestics would let one go in order to avoid the knock-on penalty, but as soon as Belmont picked it up with a head of steam, very difficult to come back from that. Ball rolled in by Meridian on the scrum. Take it back and feed toward the middle of the field. DSHA on the scene immediately. Chance to turn the corner here, though. Meridian getting those legs going. Caught from behind and driven back. Carrying it was Perry Wilson. She gets taken down by Ann Byrne of DSHA.
Yeah, she's made 100 meters on the last 3 runs. You know, she's been great so far, finding a lot of space. Kenzie Thornton is doing very well to open her up.
The left to right distance that you have to cover in this game is substantial. We'll talk about, you know, the 22-meter line, the 10-meter line, but going left and right takes up easily more space than that. And now, speaking of left to right, all the way on the left side, dragging through a tackle is Meridian. They are pushed into touch.
That is great defense. You see how they just use the touch line as the extra defender, give them that space on the outside, and just, you know, 1 foot out, you get the ball back.
Inside of a minute to play, 55 seconds on that clock, still scoreless, as we'll play a line in here. For those of you new to the game of rugby, thank you for joining us. OCA Media and the Rugby Network bringing you this broadcast of the U.S. Girls Rugby State Championship here in the high school level. The game, or the half, will not end as the clock ends. We have to conclude a change of possession before we will stop things. So with 32 seconds and then some to go, it's DSHA that controls off the line out.
They've secured that ruck really well, and they're starting to try play with a little bit more speed.
They really love running those decoys on the passes, slipping through traffic.
It's Perkovic.
DSHA, it is Perkovic. We've talked about her hitting. Now we see her running. Great play from Perkovic. DSHA, nice move to the inside, pushing forward that time.
That's Flann O'Keefe with the step inside.
Exactly. Number 11 and number 12 getting involved in things. And what a pickoff chance. Here goes Meridian, blown behind the defense. Addie Dunn, one person to beat. Dunn, her jersey is grabbed, but she slips clear into the in-goal area and touches it down with no time on the clock. We break the deadlock. 5-0 with the conversion attempt coming. How about Addie Dunn and Meridian?
You know, you saw her just thinking about that a whole phase ahead. Maybe DSHA's offense was a little bit too telegraphed because she was hanging out in that line waiting for it, right? Very clever play from Addie Dunn.
Outstanding work. Addie Dunn, number 10, a senior at Meridian High, first team All-State. Fall of the 2023 Hawkeyes Academy Select side. She's a captain. She'll be playing for rugby for Central Washington this fall. Also a varsity basketball player who loves to fish. Goes fishing and finds a ready quarry in that one.
Yeah, easy interception,
yep.
Right on the hook. And now she's on the hook, in fact, to take the kick.
And a nice job, too, to get enough space so that she could center herself when she touches it down. We saw in that game I covered previously, and we've seen all day, the wind factor, and boy, when you're way out on the edge, it is awfully difficult to deliver a kick. From dead center here, though, much better option, but it is straight into the wind. So Dunn will have a difficult but manageable opportunity to convert here. Delivers it field goal style and catches the crossbar. Kicking that in a sort of American football fashion. It's just low, bounces back off the crossbar, and no good. So, James, we go into halftime, 5-0 Meridian, and, I mean,
the game is still in the balance.
It is very much. These are two very tightly matched teams. Give Addie Dunn a ton of credit. When you're this tight, you have to exploit small advantages. Like you said, she read something, saw something there that looked good, waited to take advantage, and it leads to the try. All right, folks, The action will continue. Stay right here with the Rugby Network's live stream of U.S. Girls High School Championships. We're brought to you by Major League Rugby, the Wisconsin Women's Rugby Leadership Endowment, Rhino Rugby, and the U.S. Rugby Foundation supporting youth rugby across the United States. At the end of the first half, it's Meridian 5, DSHA 0. 22.5 minutes left to play. Stay tuned to the Rugby Network and OCA Media. Welcome back, everybody. Zach Seeloff alongside James Brown. We're getting ready to start the second half. Meridian 5, DSHA 0 on the strength of a late interception by Meridian. No time on the clock. They picked it up and took it home. James, you and I were talking about during the half, these two teams feel evenly matched, but as Meridian kicks to DSHA, what do you want to see DSHA do to try and get on the board?
Yeah, I think they need to probably just do a little bit better at protecting their ball at the rucks. They've been a little bit sloppy with some knock-ons, you know, giving up possession a little bit too easily. They have been defending incredibly well, though.
The defense from DSHA definitely strong. We've talked about Perkovic delivering some very strong hits. And as DSHA took the initial possession, they're working their way toward the 10-meter line. Anna Byrne takes it there for them.
That's it. Oh, it's an attempted turnover, but you got to release the tackler before you actually go for the ball. And it looks like whoever made that turnover there or tried to.
Oh, we have a player down. Sorry to interrupt there. The assistant referee just waving to get the signal from the referee. Is that Perkovic? I can't see the number from here. But down on the near side, one of the DSHA players, so we'll bring the training staff over.
Yeah, you hate to see it. It looks like she's taken a knock to her knee there. There's a little bit of blood on site. Hopefully she'll be fine.
Rugby, a challenging game from the physical standpoint. There are bodies flying all over, and as you've talked about with some of the penalty calls, the penalties are all about safety, but when you're running towards each other full speed, there's going to be some injuries at some point.
Yeah, you can make mistakes, right? It is, it's a very physical game, but ultimately a game of control. You control possession, you control territory, and you have to control your body in contact. Very deliberate movements with your body. Here we go, the crowd is applauding as our player gets off the ground here. She looks like she's back at it.
And that is,
she's going to stay on the field.
Credit to her. That is number 8, Melanie Sanchez, a senior, here with Divine Savior Holy Angels. she's able to get back into the huddle and confer with her teammates. Man, I am impressed because she was clearly in some pain when she went down, but she is going to stay on board. The number 8 coaches for Divine Savior are John Klein, Boris Tersinovich, and Joe Kloiber. They'll be helping their players stay healthy, stay in the game. And off of that stoppage in play, we're going to get a
she's going to go for the kick.
She sure is, and she delivers a high kind of knuckling kick. Nice grab by Meridian, not to let that one go into touch. Olivia Frisbee, a junior, homeschool junior.
Yeah, we're playing advantage because that contact was high on Olivia Frisbee there. You've got to enter into contact really low. Like I said, a game of control, and the defender there didn't bend at the hips. So always going to create high contact there.
Meridian finds Team A. She's across the midfield line, delivers it back, and they're going to move on to the outside edge. They've got a little bit of space, and running forward here is Perry Wilson. Wilson on the right wing. Nice tackle by DSHA. All the way into touch. What a job to save the try there.
Yeah, that's a great tackle. You know, she's gone ball and all to prevent an offload too. It's very difficult to do and to do well. Great defense from DSHA to actually stop that, well, what would have been a try.
Line out will go to DSHA now. 20:35 to play. Meridian leads 5-0. Their conversion attempt banged off the crossbar, no good. So just a try up here. Players up, ball is in, and easily gathered by DSHA. They've had a lot of success on those lineouts so far.
Yeah, you can see the lifters are really strong. Team A is one of those. Team A is not one of those lifters, rather. She's on the other team. But they have held that jumper up in the air for quite a length of time every time. It's been great.
Tough decision for Meridian and exploited by DSHA, but look at Meridian making a huge tackle. Another tackle down. That was Olivia Frisbee on offense and then coming back on defense. But despite that, DSHA continues to advance. Taken to the ground was Madison Tersinovich. She feeds the ball over that time to find Evie Kofer. 19:41 to play, 5-0 Meridian. DSHA with the ball at midfield.
Yeah, DSHA actually have a player down at the moment, so they're playing one short. You can see another attempted interception there from Meridian. And
it is Maria Hilbert, number 14, who is down over here, and the officials are trying to, or the crowd is trying to get the officials' attention because Hilbert flat on her back over here in the touch area on the near side.
That's good that they've stopped play. Technically, if a player is off the field, play does not need to stop, but it looks like she will need a substitution, so that is probably a good call to stop the game here.
A couple of the parents came over to render aid. It looks like potentially a severe cramp. At least that's what I'm hoping. She was holding that right leg.
Yeah, it's always concerning to see a player down, but she's sitting up now. Things are looking good.
Yep. Very hot day out here, at least for this time of year in Wisconsin. Very nice day, too. Lovely breeze blowing. Good day for rugby.
Yeah, you can see a lot of the players are kind of off their feet as they rest and get a little bit of coaching and get some water. They are trying to maintain as much energy as possible.
So when we come back in, DSHA had the ball prior to the stoppage, 19-13 as the clock stops with the injury timeout. They trail by 5. They just need to find a way in.
Yeah, and they've got another penalty sort of in the middle of the field. The last time they had that, they tried to kick it out. It's a long distance. As you mentioned, the width of the rugby field is a lot. It's 60 meters generally. So that will be a 30-meter kick, which is a long way to ask anyone to kick, particularly in these windy conditions. I think they're probably going to try something different here, maybe a tap and go, or call for the set piece, because that is always an option. They could call for the scrum if they wanted to.
The wind has picked back up and it is blowing from right to left as you see it on your screen here. So Meridian with the wind, DSHA against the wind. And as we continue to tend to Maria Hilbert here on the near sideline, both teams, as you say, taking advantage, getting some water, talking over strategy. And now we're actually bringing the EMS cart down. So unfortunately for Maria Hilbert, she will be carted off here.
Yeah, it was just on that tackle which took her out. She was running down the touchline. I mentioned on the other side of the field there that previous tackle was ball and all. In this sense, it wasn't. She was sort of dragged out. She managed to flick the pass back in field, so maybe putting herself in a pretty vulnerable position the way she was falling. So that can be tough, You put your body on the line for your team, and she's clearly done that, yeah.
The medics from Fitrona tending to her. Now, hopefully be able to get her what she needs to be feeling better.
You've got to wonder what's happening in those team talks as they're going on the field now. You've got an opportunity to sort of gather your thoughts a little bit, and how you restart play will often determine how the next 5 minutes goes. And we'd like to see the leaders of each team sort of trying to rile their team up and get them ready to play some rugby.
So this, because I am not nearly so experienced in the history of rugby, I often have to reference other sports. So I'll ask you, knowing rugby better. The Chicago Cubs won the World Series in 2016, and famously there was a rain delay prior to the final inning of the game, at which one of their leaders was able to step up and deliver a clubhouse speech that motivated them on to victory. There have to be equivalents in rugby, I'm sure. Some famous time when a stoppage was used to advantage for a team to boost them to victory. Any anecdotes you can share with us?
Oh, well, yeah. I'm South African, and recently the Chasing the Sun documentary has come out, which is about the Springboks' 2023 World Cup victory, when they went back-to-back with World Cups. And there's some great moments in there, particularly a moment where Peter Steph Totoy, one of the players for South Africa, very quiet guy, but during a half-time of the game, he stood up and he spoke. Didn't say a lot, but you could see it mattered. When a leader like that actually stands up and makes a statement, everyone listens. He actually went on to make 28 tackles in the World Cup final, which is an insane amount.
Not a bad day at the office if you're a rugby player. And yeah, these are the moments when you can show out, when the leadership of your team really. We talk in sports, I feel like, all the time about intangibles. Who's got those skills that don't end up on any stat sheet, but nonetheless are hugely influential.
And this is one of the special things about rugby, is that this is an opportunity for players to really make their voice heard within their team and as a kind of leadership group within the team. It's sort of different from a lot of sports in that a coach often coaches, and then on the day, beyond halftime, beyond before the game, it's up to the decisions of the players, right? And it's a very special thing to see. We've got these young players out here, some who are just juniors and, sophomores, and even some freshmen out here who are playing, and they've got to make decisions on their own. I think it's a wonderful opportunity for all people to learn and to grow through rugby.
It's a fascinating contrast with American football, which is very tactical, move, counter move, and as you know, the coaches are heavily involved in every single play. Rugby, with rare exception like we have right now for an injury timeout, you get on and you play the entire half, and you may not be able to receive any guidance from the sideline at all. It's up to you and your teammates to carry things out based on what you've practiced and talked to up to that point.
Yeah, and you'll see even at this moment the coaches are with the injured player. That they trust the team entirely to make their own choices. The coaches on the far side, other assistant coaches perhaps, or support staff are with the players here. There's no messages really to be carried on to the players, except for a few words that could come from the water carriers.
So the EMS team from Fitrona, we thank them for coming to support this event. A lot of people involved in supporting an event like this. James and I are lucky to get to be the voices of this game for you, but there are so many people, officials, production staff for these productions, EMS, volunteers at the grill and at the merch booth, people organizing schedules, the event staff, so many people who make this happen, and it's awfully fun to see. It's fun to see all the people behind the scenes, and especially all the fans, the friends and family, and everyone else who's come out to support these young women. Rugby still finding its footing, finding its audience in the USA, even though it's much more popular in other parts of the world. And it's great to see things like this happening and see that popularity grow here in the States.
Yeah, it's fantastic. There are so many people out here. You can't really see it on the television because we are obviously broadcasting from where all the seating is. But a huge number of people have turned out. It's tough to get parking, which kind of says it all, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, and both teams circling up as Maria Hilbert's going to be taken off here. Lovely show of sportsmanship in the center of the field here.
Looks like they're taking a knee, maybe to say a few words for Maria Hilbert. There we go. These are people who bash each other constantly, but ultimately, in the spirit of the game, they're on the same team.
It's something I've seen having, I have to admit, I knew basically nothing about rugby until Paul Zwicker, who's the director at OCA, asked me to help out with some games several years ago. And the sportsmanship and camaraderie and the educational nature of the game at this level is really fun to watch. The referees are heavily involved, not just in officiating the game, but also in coaching the players, in the moment, helping them, provide a little guidance and education, and that's a lot of fun to see.
Yeah, it's a really healthy thing to be happening, right? There you go. The crowd is also clapping here as Maria Hilbert is taken away.
So she's going to go get evaluated for that, what looked like potentially a right leg injury. Again, big thanks to the medics from Fitrona for helping out, and the family and friends that came down to assist as well.
And we'll restart with that penalty, which, I don't know, Zach, looks to me like has moved a few meters over towards the right-hand side of the field.
It may have shifted just a little bit.
Very clever.
Yes.
I'd say that's a little bit of knowledge and
a veteran move. I think
yeah,
we might
a veteran
call that.
move. Yeah. Well done, Flan.
Yes.
There we go. She's warming up for the kick, making it very clear what she's about to do. You see that so often in rugby when a mark is given, and as the referee turns it back, just a little half meter is gained. Everyone does it.
Kick it onto the fairway, as it were.
Yeah.
All right, so the card has cleared the space. Maria Hilbert on her way to get looked at. We sure wish her the best, and we'll provide you any updates that we get as we go on. But DSHA is going to put the ball back in play here near midfield with 19:12 to play in this game. They will kick it up towards the booth here and into the stands.
There we go. It sounded like it hit ground, though.
It did, yep.
No one managed to catch that one.
No souvenirs for any lucky fans on that. The ball played into touch just across midfield.
You don't get to keep foul balls in rugby.
No, I'm afraid not. Don't have enough balls for that. So to play it in will be Madison Tersinovich.
Beautiful angle that we have here on the line-out throw.
Oh, and a nice drop to Tersinovich, and they've got space. Coming forward are the ladies of DSHA. Tripped up was Evie Kofu.
Yeah, notice how she carried the ball in both hands there right up to the line. Keeps the opposition guessing.
Anna Byrne there thought she had a little bit of support behind her, instead just dives forward and continues it moving. Here's Kofu once again. She's through a couple of tackles before she's finally dragged down.
Yeah, this time she just tucks it under her arm and goes, right? There's not sending mixed messages about what she plans to do.
Greta Riemann with that carry. And now DSHA tries to carry it back through the center once more. It's Flan O'Keefe. Seen her moving the ball a lot. DSHA continues on the attack near the 22-meter line. Nearly lost control of the ball. They do lose it, but picked right back up by Madison Tersinovich.
Yeah, that's a really sort of flat attacking line that DSHA have got going there. So they're not gaining a lot of speed running onto the ball. I'd like to see them set just a little bit deeper as they have done here.
Nice job to deliver that ball, and now moving forward, caught by the jersey and dragged down as the number 8, Melanie Sanchez, but not before a big gain.
And there's a lot of space over to the left there if DSHA can get it out. They've got a huge overlap, which is closing as we speak. Meridian
trying to stop them. Met at the 5-meter line, and now we have a signal from the referee.
Forward pass.
And that will favor Meridian. So DSHA's attack is stymied by a penalty. Meridian will have a chance to put it back into play. 17-14 to go. Meridian leads 5-0 thanks to a no time left try on an interception at the end of the first half. We're going to scrum it out here. It'll be the ladies from Meridian that put it into play. Their coaching staff, Jared Turner, the head coach, John Vogt, Jace Turner, and Ryan Jenks, leading these women in their rugby efforts.
It's a strong scrum there from Meridian.
Very nice pickup, nice long pass. Good drop behind, but read cleanly by DSHA. Meridian will not go down to an ankle tackle. They're going to insist on being forced down harder than that. To the outside edge, now back inside. Meridian trying to make some forward progress in their own half. DSHA not interested in allowing it, continuing to drive them back.
Yeah, DSHA are just keeping Meridian really narrow there with a sort of outside-in rush on the first player, but we're going to see Team A here with the ball, I'm sure. No, not this time.
Right to the ground for Meridian again. Continuing to retreat back, now at their 5-meter line, now near their goal line. Now they get it on the outside edge and pick up some speed. Cutting back to the inside, who else? It is Perry Wilson. We've seen her on the outside all game, and she's turned the corner a couple of times. Here's Team A, as you mentioned.
Straight into contact.
Straight into contact, and they are like, we are going low to the ankles. We do not want to take a leading hit from Team A. Loose ball behind Meridian. They control. Flicked all the way to the outside. Ooh. Big, straight, stand-up stick that time by number 22. I apologize, I don't have her name on my roster. But a nice hit to stop Meridian up.
Yeah, I mean, Meridian have controlled it for sort of 8 phases here. It's a lot of time to be able to hold the ball in your own 22. Fairly risky play. You kind of feel like DSHA would have kicked it now, but maybe Meridian don't have that option.
Lule Time moves it forward, and she gives it to Kennedy Jones, taken down there. Loose ball on the errant pass, but Meridian controls. Accelerating are the blue and gold. 14:45 to play. They lead 5-0 against DSHA. Don't quite catch that one cleanly, and a knock-on will be called.
Well, it's a knock-on again. It's the same as what happened earlier. It's a knock-on with a player who is in an offside position who's played it. So DSHA have an opportunity here. You think that Flann O'Keefe's going to kick it out, and they'll set up a line out inside the 22 to attack from.
That's been their strategy so far. That is indeed what she goes for, right at the 22. Actually hops the fence and ends up out of the field. We'll gather that back up, and when it returns, we'll have a line out with 14:14 to go. So despite everything we've seen, we have seen some wonderful rugby from both these teams. Only 5 points on the board. Either team could come away with this victory.
Yeah, some of the strongest defense I think I've seen overall in this tournament. People have been great at defending. There's been a lot of rush defense from DSHA particularly, which have closed down Meridian's options. It's been good rugby.
Line out again, DSHA. Their line out game is strong, and now we enter the maul, pushing forward, and we'll spin right out of it and move ahead.
That's a solid 10-meter gain from that maul. You'd be happy with that any day.
DSHA got a little bit of open space, swinging the ball out wide. Excellent tackle that time by number 12 of Meridian. That was Mallory Howell.
So again, DSHA just a little bit flat. You got to feel like it's really tired. This is really hot, and they're really tired. It's their second game of the day. They're struggling to get in a strong attacking position.
They find on the edge, feed to number 22. She's taken to the ground. DSHA trying to retain possession here, and they are able to do so. Back towards the middle of the field. One hopper, picked up that time by Trixie Setliff.
And DSHA are calling for it on the left there because they do have another overlap. And if they can get some quick ball here, there's a huge gap just beside the ruck too.
They've got a ton of players on this side, and now they're trying to move it with the sort of fake interior passes. Down near the 5-meter line, 12:40 to play. DSHA down 5-0, Meridian on top in this second half.
There we go.
And that one goes against Meridian.
So not releasing the player after the tackle is the call there. You know, there was a lot of pressure they put through the middle of the ruck, but you have to let the player go so they can release it.
Megan Walsh with the tap and go. Feeds into the center. Moving toward the middle. Gathers it up and forced down. The ball is loose. We're on top of it both.
So teammate got over that really well, but she lost her feet, and as soon as her knees are on the ground, she cannot use her hands anymore.
Inside the 5-meter line, toward the goal line, driving ahead, number 4, Kate Ambrose. She can't quite get in, but they are close. Bouncing ball, picked up by DSHA, toward the goal post. Still knocked down short of the line. Now carrying the number 8 for DSHA to the line, and it's a try. Melanie Sanchez puts it on the floor, and we are all square at 5.
That's great play from Sanchez. She saw that gap. She thought, I can take one player, and she sure could.
She is absolutely right about that. Sanchez, a power player, and we saw her earlier. We had an injury timeout for her as well. She's limping as she gets away, but man, you would have never known it to see her make that run into the in-goal area.
She didn't seem that injured when she was running with the ball in her hand. It's a very strong player, and with the kick to come, there's a lot of pressure on DSHA here. This kick puts you in the lead with the game being all leveled up.
A huge opportunity for DSHA, but a very difficult one. It'll be Evie Kofu to try and do this in the wind. Boy, blowing straight against her, even on that angle. It's blowing slightly towards the far side of the field and straight down against her. A difficult kick, but if she can make it, she gives her team the lead. 10:44 and counting to play. Here she comes. It looks good. It is good, right through the uprights. What a ball from Evie Kofu. Melanie Sanchez the try, Kofu the conversion, and DSHA has the lead 7-5.
But Meridian have taken it quickly.
They
don't have to hang around. They've run up to that ball, taken it quickly. Caught DSHA just a little off guard there with an early knock. Meridian now have a scrum.
No waiting from Meridian. They want to play, and they want to play fast. 10-10 and counting. DSHA has taken their first lead of the game. They're up 7-5.
And a classic attacking opportunity here, right in the middle of the field. The back line has so many options. You've got to wonder what they think they're going to be doing here. They can go either left or right, and they split the defense also.
Meridian puts the ball in on the scrum. Comes back, and we get a whistle.
Looks like that scrum's gone to ground. We'll just reset that, I'd say. All players need to keep their feet in the scrum. It can be tough to do. There's a lot of pressure, a lot of force going through a scrum. All physics teachers out there, you can do the math.
We talked about in the Belmont game, the field in lovely condition considering the time of year and the kind of unusual winter that we've had. Great credit to the folks here at the Wisconsin Rugby Complex for keeping these two grass fields in wonderful shape. That scrum is cleanly handled by Meridian. The pass, though, a little bit errant back towards the midfield line. Dangerous pass there, works out for Meridian.
Yeah, just a little miscommunication. This is where Meridian need to be careful. They've been so good at retaining possession, but you want to be quick, but you can't be frantic. And that's when errors start to creep in.
I think that's an excellent way to describe it. They had that first pass that went missed, and then it did seem like they were just a little out of sorts until we got this whistle here.
There's always a risk when you make an error for it to compound. It takes a really mature player who in a moment can reflect on that. That's what we've seen happen here.
I heard a chess teacher talking about that. They said there's nothing wrong with making the first mistake. What you have to avoid is the second mistake. And that's what will get you.
Well, rugby is like chess, where all the pieces make decisions.
So DSHA delivers a boot, and that one is going to roll nicely forward across the 10-meter line. Meridian's got to pick it up quick. They do. And carrying it is number 15, Becca Jenks. Taken to the ground, and Meridian sets up.
So you'd like to see DSHA using that space more. They've gone to the boot twice or 3 times, and every time they have, they put themselves in a great position.
Taken to the ground is teammate. And going out towards that right side is Meridian. Bouncing ball. Picked up cleanly by Jenks. She's taking the ground. Sorry, that was Perry Wilson that had that. 7:34 to go. DSHA with the 7-5 lead in a low-scoring game here in the second half. Ball's forward. And we got a roll-away call. That'll be to Meridian's advantage.
Oh, you got to give it to teammate here. Right? Just get her to run.
I would think so. They want to set up a different play. And they're going to move it all the way out to that right wing. Nice pitch, and they've got space on the edge for Perry Wilson. How many times have we seen her do this game? She's almost all the way up to midfield.
She's a player. She can run.
Really got some good speed, good agility that's helped her out a lot. Meridian feeds it back into the middle. Here's Time. She's across the center line. She's got speed. She's got momentum. Gets out of one tackle. Continues to move forward. Finally pushed to the ground. Up near the 10-meter line of DSHA. 6:36 to play. 7-5 in favor of the ladies from Divine Savior. Charging forward and now pitching across. They find number 11, Olivia Frisbee.
DSHA working really hard to take players out over the touchline. Look how narrow they are in defense there. But Time making contact.
Initiating contact as ever, but she is tackled down nicely. Leading the effort was Kate Ambrose of DSHA. And DSHA continues not to give ground to Meridian once they've gotten across the 10-meter line. Speaking of, they'll just take the ball back. Thank you very much. Divine Savior. But no, Meridian says, I think I'll take it instead. Quick back and forth possessions here. Thought about a kick, kicks it to the outside instead. Oh, what a nice move. She looked like, for all the world, like she was going to pitch that one out to the side. Hung on to it and gained quite a bit of ground for the blue and gold. .5:35 to play. DSHA with a 2-point lead, up 7-5. Their conversion on the latest try, the difference in this game. Timu in the middle of the field, slips one tackle, runs out of another tackle, drives off a third tackle, dragging DSHA players with her across the 22-meter line.
Yeah, that's tough to defend. You know, if someone needs 5 defenders to take them down, what do? And as you can see, as a result of that, Meridian have a lot of space over to the right if they can exploit it.
DSHA trying to reset their defense, but here comes Meridian the other way. Nice lofted pass on the one hop. Wilson able to just hang on to it. And I think we have an advantage call.
There we go, coming back for the penalty.
Yep.
Number 2, offside.
And so Meridian will get to play this ball from the 22-meter line. 4:45 and counting to play. They trail by only 2.
The question is, do you go for poles here? If they can kick it over the poles, as they will here, as they'll try to here, it'll be 3 points, which will take them into the lead.
Exactly right, and they have the wind at their back. It's blowing slightly left to right relative to the goalpost, so they'll need to account for that, but they are dead center. A 22-meter kick with the wind at your back, definitely makeable. Looks like lining up to take this one is number 10, Addie Dunn.
Yeah, so she had a similar kick to this in the first half, which just came off the post, but it was on the way up still, you know, so it was a tough miss earlier, but you feel like she's confident to make this one.
Dunn, as you said, tagging the crossbar in the early game. She had that interception at the end of the first half that led to the only try for Meridian. Now with a chance to give her team the lead with just 3:47 to play. The kick on the way. It looks good. Oh, and it hits the outside upright.
These posts must be magnetic or something.
Oh.
For that to happen twice, that's tough.
That is so tough. A beautiful kick that is just a bit wide right.
And just what you said, right? It's that wind that's pushing from left to right.
And it got her just ever so slightly. And DSHA now benefits from the penalty call. They will be able to deliver the boot from their own 22 line. And they're going to kick it right into touch. That one coming towards the sideline. Oh, and a nice catch by a gentleman in a purple shirt. So, just 3:05 to play. DSHA leads 7-5. Dunn's attempted kick was no good. Bangs off the right post.
It's a nice reminder that the ball is live off of the penalty. We've seen, you know, if Meridian had chased that, they might have been able to receive it themselves.
Line-out game has been so strong from DSHA, it continues to be, and they're going to go right into them all and just push forward, driving that one ahead.
But Time's over that. She's stolen it.
And she's got it. Time doing so much work for Meridian today. Taken down that time for Meridian was number 8, Kimberly Bartlett.
Yeah, there we go. We're having a penalty advantage there for hands in the ruck.
Alrighty, so Meridian playing advantage here on the outside edge. The loose ball is going to be picked up by DSHA, and we'll bring it back for that advantage play.
Yeah, there's no advantage off that one. Meridian, they've got 2 minutes to do something, and they're in the DSHA half with the wind at their back. I think you kick it. I think you kick it for the line and set up a line out.
We'll see what Meridian wants to do, if that's what their strategy is going to be. It'll be Isabel Jenks.
Oh, they're going to run it.
Jenks with a tap and go, and they want to bring it forward. Swing to the outside, it's too strong. Nobody gets it. Finally, they do dive on top, and they will retain possession. Minute 41 to go as they trail by 2. Trying to get this one in someplace where they can do some damage. Kennedy Jones has both of her legs taken out from under her simultaneously. Dumped unceremoniously onto the ground. Teammate trying to struggle through. Great tackling by DSHA, does not let her get free as Meridian brings it to the outside. Through one tackle, through another. Backwards pass and a nice one. They're able to get it to Becca Jenks. Minute 13 to play now, and they're going to have to come back towards the far side of the field. Big contest in the ruck. DSHA comes up with the loose ball. DSHA grabs the loose one on the ruck, and now they're working back the other direction. 59 seconds to go in this game. DSHA leads 7-5.
Yeah, you've got to give credit to Kate Ambrose there, who really worked hard over the ball for that individual counter ruck. You know, lock forwards often don't get a lot of credit, but that is a moment for Kate Ambrose.
Excellent work by DSHA. They control the ball still. 40 seconds to go as we're up near midfield. Nice job to pick that one up off the turf. Gathering that was Madison Tercinovic. Now we get a whistle. And this one's going to favor Meridian. So with 25 seconds to go, Meridian tap and go across the 10-meter line. Running, slipping tackles, dragged to the ground. Ball stays with the Meridian's possession. Over to the left wing here. Faking the pass and instead powering through is Addie Dunn.
Someone's got to support her. There it is.
Back towards the middle of the field. The number 8, Kinley Bartlett.
DSHA are just desperately defending here. They're doing a great job.
Teammate threw a couple of tackles. Continuing forward against Melanie Sanchez. Sanchez puts the shoulder in and takes her down. The clock reads 0. We will continue until a change of possession. Driving ahead is Kennedy Jones. Look at this push from Kennedy Jones. The loose ball, it's kicked, and it's into touch.
Wow, what a finish there from DSHA. Some resilient defense from the DSHA players. They've got to be proud of themselves. They went phase after phase after phase of defending. That takes bravery, that takes guts.
Beautiful work by DSHA. Fantastic game by Meridian, and you see emotion on both sides. What an effort by both of these teams.
Yeah, the crowd is cheering quite loudly. We probably have a lot of DSHA fans here. You know, DSHA coming from Milwaukee. So a lot of people very happy with that. That was a good game of rugby though, Zach.
It was lovely to see. Divine Savior somehow found the strength, found the will, and we have a player right here at midfield. Her mom, I presume, comes out to meet her, one of the DSHA players. Tears of joy after a hard-fought victory. And
that's a special moment, isn't it?
It really is. James, I know you've played this game for a long time. I know you've felt exactly the emotions that she's feeling now.
I don't know if my mother ever embraced me. But that is great play. Wonderful moment there.
What a job. Well, James, I always like to do this in games that I call 1 star from each team. Who did you like in this?
Did you get a good shot of me?
You know, I think it's hard to look past Time from Meridian. You know, she was just kind of everywhere, making play after play after play. And then I actually think Flann O'Keefe's boot really kept DSHA territorially in a really good position. So those are my 2 calls.
Fantastic. For me, from Divine Savior, I'd like to go with Madison Tercinovic. I feel like in the first half especially, we called her name a lot. She had a lot of nice tackles. And then for Meridian, Addie Dunn. She had that interception for their try. She had 2 lovely kicks that banged off the crossbar once and the upright the other time. They were beautiful balls that just didn't quite get there, but she contributed an awful lot to this Meridian team. Well, folks, that's going to do it. For everyone in our production crew, for my broadcast partner, James Brown, my name is Zach Seeloff saying stay tuned. We will have another game for you in just a couple of minutes. You're watching the U.S. High School Girls Rugby Championships at the Wisconsin Rugby Complex here on OCA Media and the Rugby Network.